being a real estate agent in 2020.
One day I want to find someone who sees the world like me.
Welcome back, people. Ben and Brittany here from benandbrittany.net. And being a real estate agent in 2020 is today's topic. I am sitting here with my wife, Brittany, who is a real estate agent. And we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty after you tell me where you are in your real estate career. Tell the listeners where you are in your real estate career.
Perfect. So I'm working on year 3. Just wrapped up 2019 with 33 closed homes for the year.
33.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So
for those of you who don't know, that's a lot of closings.
The average agent closes about 10 to 12. I am on a high producing team. So that helps. I have a lot of leverage, which also helps me get to that 33 mark. And it's just a great benefit of being on a good real estate team. Yeah. But what that means for my clients is I have about 3 times more experience than average realtor as well. So negotiating 10 contracts from start to close versus 33 contracts start to close, plus all the years prior to that.
That's a lot of EXP points for any gamers listening. That's EXP out the booty hole. Just being real.
Yeah. It was an exciting year, and we're super excited for 2020. We have big goals. Ben and I do.
So you would say that you are happy with your career as a real estate agent?
Absolutely.
You love it.
I love my career choice. I get to help a lot of people with a pretty big decision in their life, whether it's buying a home, selling a home, maybe it's even investing in real estate. Yeah. But it's a large decision. Most of the time marking the either beginning of a new chapter, sometimes an end to an old chapter, but you really are helping, guiding them through that phase of their life, and it's just rewarding to help them complete that.
I forget what the actual stat is, but it's like every time somebody buys a house, like that is the number 1 or number 2 largest financial milestone in their lifetime.
Yes.
Buying a home.
For sure, unless they have, like if they're a doctor and they have student loans.
Stuff like that, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's a big one.
Their student loans shouldn't be as high as their house.
Yeah. So, all right, so funny, you say that you love it, but I'm playing devil's advocate today.
Okay.
And I found this article that says 5 things your recruiting broker did not tell you about your career in real estate. Okay. And your recruiting broker is essentially, your broker is your boss. Kind of, right? How's that work?
They're like your supervisor in a way. Coach, supervisor, trainer. They're your boss in the sense that, like, you have to follow their rules, but you are an independent contractor. You're responsible for your own business. But, like, if you are in a real estate transaction and you do something incorrectly, it falls on you, but it can also fall back on your broker because they're supposed to be kind of like supervising over you. I got you. If that makes sense.
So you're an independent contractor who works for the broker and whatever organization that whole thing is under. But here, there's some bold things. The 5 things that they don't tell you is this. You don't actually make your own schedule. How do you feel about that?
Partly true.
Partly true.
So I think there's a lot of folks who get into real estate because they're like, I'm going to have all this free time. I can create my own schedule. I can go shopping all the time or golfing or, do all of these things. And while you can block time for those things, I'm able to block time for certain events for the kids' school. I'm able to block off time to go to your away shows every now and then. Yeah. But on the same note, there are things that you need to be doing every single day in order to propel your business forward, as well as contracts have very important deadlines. So if you write a contract and then you have inspections that have to happen within 10 days, you have to have appraisals that have to happen in so many days, and then all these other things that kind of fall into place, those also dictate your schedule. And then when your clients want to see homes, especially in a market with a low inventory, like you're going to jump pretty quickly to get them into a house so they don't lose out on a really good opportunity.
And that's motivated by the fact that you have to feed your family.
Exactly.
Like if you don't jump in certain situations, as a real estate agent's husband, I've seen it time and time again. If you're not gaining ground, you're losing ground as a real estate agent a lot of times.
Right.
Like if you're not working, somebody else is working and stealing your clients or gathering up the new clients that hit the market, stuff like that. Like you have to constantly have your wheels churning.
Right.
In order to become successful, if you will.
Sure.
All right. So you do get to make your own schedule in the sense that you're pretty much in charge of your own destiny.
Yeah, you get to say yes to appointments and no to appointments, but at the end of the day, your schedule is going to be pretty booked. Not a whole ton of, just random free time.
Yeah, it's not easy. People, you don't just become a real estate agent and just answer the phone and sell houses. Like, it's work.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people too who are like, oh, I can wake up late and go to work at 12.
Nope.
There's a lot of studies that show the agents that are doing new business development from 8 to 11 every morning, like those are your most successful agents. And I'm a part of a team, and that's what we do.
Yep.
And it definitely, our systems work.
All right. Cool. So, all right, here's the second thing that your real estate broker does not tell you when they recruit you. Being a real estate agent is expensive. What's that all about?
So there's a lot of fees being a real estate agent. Luckily, my brokerage was actually super open about it. Like, even my first brokerage was very open about the fees going into it. And then the second brokerage, I'm now at KW with the Dave Hook real estate team. And Keller Williams was really good about breaking down the fees. So if you're somebody thinking about getting into a real estate career, definitely figure out what the fees are for your association and your brokerage, because those are very important. But you have a association fee that you have to pay every year that allows you to have access to the multi-list. Kind of boring stuff for people who don't really know what that is, but the multi-list is basically like the database for all the homes.
For anything coming on the market.
Yeah, okay. Available, withdrawn, maybe not on the market, but was on the market, public records, things like that. Also, you have fees for the actual association itself. So you have like the MLS fees, but then you have the association fees that allow you to be a part of the association.
The fee.
The fee.
The fee for the fee.
Yeah, the fee for the fee. Then you have brokerage fees. Some have like, a percentage of sales. Like there's just a lot of fees that are involved. Then you have marketing fees. So if you're an independent agent,
you have to market yourself.
You have to market yourself, and that can cost a lot of money. Another reason why I myself am on a team, so I get to benefit from the Dave Hook team's advertising, and that takes a large chunk of expenses off of my personal plate.
How much is that? Are you allowed to say?
Well, the Dave Hook team spends, I think it's now like $17,000 a month on advertising. That's something I could never do. I mean, I could, like, after years of developing my business, but instead of having to focus on that, I'm able to just focus on my clients instead. But
$17,000 a month.
Advertising. And he also, puts the sign in the yard for my listings. That's a sign company that he pays to do that. He has a professional photographer that goes out to take photos. We have an admin. We have showing agents. There's all these things that the Dave Hook team pays for and provides for that I don't have to pay for out of my pocket. I just get maybe a little bit smaller commission, but I'm not feeling that.
And a lot of that stuff is time consuming if you were an independent agent. Like if you had to call and book all your photo shoots.
Right.
How long does that take?
And then I'd be writing individual checks for all those things up front.
Yeah.
Dave pays for all that up front, or the Dave Hook team pays for all that up front, and then I get my commission check when my stuff sells. So, But yeah, there's definitely a lot of fees. It's not just making money. You got to spend money to make money in our business for sure.
Okay, you're making me nervous because if I was excited about becoming a real estate agent, I'm thinking hard about it right now. The fee. Like, there's a lot of fees. Okay.
The fee of the fee, plus taxes.
Plus taxes. Let's not even get started on taxes.
Just get an accountant.
30% of your life is owned by the government if you are self-employed. At least 30%.
27 to 30%.
Yeah. All right. So here's the third thing that your broker did not tell you when they recruited you. Your friends and family might not hire you. Why is that? Why would they not hire you?
A lot of people don't like to mix business with relationships. There's also this like stigma that they think that their real estate agent's going to know like all this financial history about them, and they're like, well, I don't want my best friend to know what I make per year and what my credit card debt is. Like, I don't want her or him to know that. And the fact of the matter is we don't have to know that. The only person that has to know that is your mortgage broker. So whatever mortgage representative you're working with, they're the only ones that really know the ins and outs of your finances. I just know what you're pre-approved for, and if you're a strong buyer, not how much money you have to put down, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so if you're best friends with Lisa doesn't have to worry about you judging her financial status.
No.
Okay.
And especially me. Like, if those who know me, I went through bankruptcy because of a divorce. So I'm the last person that's going to judge you.
No judging coming from the Brittany.
But I mean, it is true. I have had times where family did not hire me. I didn't take it personally. Hey, that was their decision. As long as they're doing what's best for their family, I'm here to support them if they ever need me.
Word. All right. Moving on. The fourth thing that your broker did not tell you when recruiting you is there is an 80% chance you will not be doing this in 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's implying 80% of people say, screw this, it's too hard before 2 years is up. Or screw this, like, I'm broke. What's that all about?
So again, I just really benefited from having honest brokers. So my brokers warned me about this, and it's basically like the sophomore year burnout. So your first year, you're like super pumped, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a real estate agent. I'm going to sell all these houses, and you're just like highly motivated. And then by year 2, you're just saying yes to any amount of business that comes in, like, because you're worried, like, well, if I don't say yes to this potential client, I may not have income coming in. Next thing you know, you've not time blocked any time for yourself or for your family, and you're exhausted, and that is called burnout. So there's many ways that you can actually prevent burnout. Like I said, I'm going on year 3. I started this in 2017. We're now going into 2020, and I don't feel that at all. Have I been tired during busy season? But I definitely...
There's been some struggles where it's like you've kind of like reassessed, like, hey man, like, this is getting tough.
Yeah.
Like it's worrying you. It's worried you before, and that's a normal human response to something that is hard.
Right.
It is not easy to be a real estate agent.
And a little bit of that fear keeps you hungry, so it's kind of healthy.
Yeah.
In a way, but really, time blocking, which I think we've done a podcast about that actually.
I think we have. We can probably do another one.
Probably.
We've kind of improved our setup.
Leverage, being on a team, again, is a great way to help prevent this. Like, again, we have admins that help with contract to close. We have showing agents that kind of help taking showing homes off of your plate. I have a sales director that I can have on speed dial for any time that I have a unique situation pop up. So you're not really doing it alone, which I think helps also take that burnout feeling away, because you're working with a team of people.
You have others to lean on.
Done. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Exactly.
So if you put in the right systems, you can avoid that burnout. And really, once you get to a point of where you're successful, you can start to say no to certain business. And I'm definitely at that point where I don't say yes to every client that comes along. And I'm okay if I say, you know what, I'm taking off an afternoon to spend time with my kids, and I lose business opportunity. I know that, and I'm okay with it.
That's fine, because there's people always need homes.
Yeah, there's other business out there that will be meant for me, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's what has prevented burnout. But yet I still sold 33 homes last year. So
boom, mic drop.
Yeah.
Word.
For sure.
All right, here's the last thing. The fifth thing that your broker did not tell you when he recruited you was, or he or she, sorry. It's 2020. I can't be doing that.
Oh,
There's a picture of a guy at the top. Sorry, that's why I said he. But anyway, if you want to be a rock star agent, it is going to consume your life. So if you want to be awesome at being a real estate agent, goodbye free time is what this is saying.
I think this kind of goes back with the last question, and it can. It kind of, for me, it's become my passion. So you think about it all the time, and it's hard to not, like, you can always work, just like in your business, you can always work.
There's always something to be done.
So it comes back to time blocking. Again, leverage is so important. And if you want to take vacations, you need to have a good relationship with somebody in your office that you can highly trust to watch your business for you while you're away. You might still have to get pulled in an emergency type situation, but Ben and I went on a honeymoon, and
we were actually able to unplug
completely, 110%.
Well, let me just
there's
pause
way
right there
for it to not totally consume you.
Yeah, just pause right there. Like, if you are a real estate agent who's having any kind of success, your phone will have to be attached to you, like literally attached to you, and there will be times where you cannot stop it from ringing, and it will just continue to ring.
Yeah.
And the beauty of our honeymoon was we were able to get away from that, and that's very difficult to do if you're a hungry real estate agent. It's very easy to get consumed by your phone. I've seen Brittany be consumed by her phone. I've seen agents that she works with say the same thing about, like, man, like, if there's one thing I could change, it would be the ability to put my phone down. And if you do it correctly, like you did, you have reliable people working with you in your office, that you were able to say, hey, take all these calls. You were able to contact your clients and say, I am out of here. Please do not contact me. These are the people that you can contact. They're very competent. Please do that instead of contacting me. And we were actually able to unplug for that week, and it was glorious.
Yeah. And if you want to know exactly how I went about doing that, because I not only contacted my clients like 2 weeks in advance, then a week in advance, and like the day before.
It's a process.
I also contacted my co-brokes, local agents in the office, and I had a lot of people lined up, like, ready to take on my business if something came up. So if you are an agent and you just want to chat with me what that looks like, I'd love to help you with that, because it is totally possible. But I think at the times when it is consuming you, I just always know in my head that this is worth it, because Ben and I are going to take a vacation a couple times a year where I do totally, completely unplug, and it makes everything else worth it. And I think having a spouse that understands that there's sometimes that you can't control it, and every time that phone rings, that could be money for the family. So, for example, New Year's Eve, my phone was ringing off the hook. I had a hot listing, like a great listing, go on the market the night before, and it was, there was a point where, like, I was on the phone, like, talking to one agent, and my phone kept beeping, and it was hard for me to understand the agent because it just, other calls kept coming through. And I apologized to Ben, and he's like, hey, this is good. This is a great way to end the year, and you have to look at it from a positive
and that was yesterday
perspective.
And that house is fully under contract now, isn't it?
Yep. Great offer. It was a competitive situation, and it's just the name of the game.
All right. We're done with the 5 things that your broker
those were
didn't
fun.
tell you.
I'm lucky that my broker, my first and second broker, like, both warned me of all those things. Like, I kind of knew it going into it, but I could definitely see, I definitely think I've taken real estate courses with people, and I remember them saying, like, oh, I got into this business because I can make my own schedule, and I just kind of chuckled.
Yeah, it's not entirely like that. You can make your own schedule.
But you do have to be...
There's opportunity cost for everything. For those of you who don't know what opportunity cost is, that's what you're losing out on by choosing to take a day off.
Right.
Like, you're losing out on a potential great client by taking a day off. And you have to figure out how to allocate your opportunity costs in order to manage your own schedule. And Brittany's very good at that, and she has taught me how to do that because I was terrible at it. I will work for 24 straight hours if she lets me. Like,
and I don't.
and she doesn't. I was a workaholic. When I quit my actual job to become a full-time musician, it was just all day, every day, make videos, record music, do everything I can, like, all day long, and it stressed me out, and I experienced some burnout too. Luckily, Brittany was there to say, hey, this is how you do it. So if you're in that situation, Brittany is a great resource, and she's free. Just message her. She's amazing. And I love her. She's my wife, so...
No
Don't get
favoritism
any ideas,
at all.
guys.
No favoritism at all. There. Yeah, this
but
is. But
here's I have another article here that I want to throw at you to hear your rebuttal.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This article.
I'm excited. From Forbes.
From Forbes. from
So
Forbes.
it's pretty legit.
Has a lot of views, and it is, are real estate agents still relevant in the age of tech? And what they're talking about in this article is the emergence of websites like Zillow and Trulia. And for those of you who don't know what Zillow and Trulia are, they are these huge websites that list, was it worldwide or is it just United States?
I think it's worldwide.
Worldwide, they host all these listings for houses that are going on the market. And it's supposed to be a one-stop shop for anybody who's looking for a home to window shop on the internet. You can supposedly go to these websites, click on a house, get information about it, schedule a showing with an agent, and have everything done through Zillow.
A random agent.
A random agent.
Keyword.
Random. Okay. So I sensed your rebuttal already. So, Brittany,
Yeah.
are real estate agents still relevant in the age of tech?
Yes.
How so?
I think that real estate agents have to utilize technology more to be able to provide a better service to their clients. And I think that our focus has to be more on our knowledge, experience, the technology that we can provide to help our clients be more a part of the transaction, maybe have a little bit more control, also ease to get through the transaction. And I think technology is a good thing for real estate agents to utilize, and that if real estate agents don't, keep up with the changing technology, those are the agents that we're going to see go away. So,
Embrace it and grow.
Yeah, you need to embrace the technology, grow with the technology, because it's just going to continue to revolutionize the way that we do things.
And get better and better. And I will say, Zillow and Trulia are great in the sense that, like, if you're getting your feet wet in being a buyer or a seller in the market, like, it's good to go to those websites and kind of see what's out there.
Not really.
You don't think so? Why not?
No, if you're looking to get your feet wet, even if you're just browsing, it's better to work with a local realtor in your area who knows your area well. They most likely have a really well done website that's connected to your local multi-list, who can also send you homes
For free.
that are for sale for free, just like Zillow. However, it's going to be more accurate. I don't know how many times I get phone calls from people asking about these homes, and I know for a fact that they want a home no smaller than 2,000 square feet, and I'm pulling up this home and I'm going, it's only 1,300 square feet. Why are they even looking at this? It's because Zillow will factor in the basement.
And that's not true.
That's not a true statement. So then I have this client who thinks that the above grade finished square feet is 2,000 square feet, when really it's only 1,300. They're going to be super disappointed when they go into that home and realize that it's a lot smaller than what they thought.
Wow.
So no, I don't.
Well, then I
don't,
take back what I said.
Yeah, I'm not
because
an advocate for that at all. If you want to get your feet wet, if you're in the central PA region, I can set you up on my database and get you set up on a free safe search where you can search and browse all on your own. I don't have to bother you. You can just window shop, if you will.
I'm your husband, and I got that wrong. That has to be a super common misconception with these websites.
I have clients myself that
So they're just, wait, hold on, I'm
can't-
sorry.
what?
They're just inaccurate.
They can be inaccurate.
Wow.
I've had a listing one time that Zillow was saying it was a mobile home, and it wasn't. And I looked, and my client was ticked off at me, and I'm checking our multi-list. I'm like, everything's right. Like, it's a ranch home. Nowhere on here does it say it's a mobile home, but somehow in Zillow's feed, it was portraying it as a mobile home.
Wow.
Another thing that people like are Zestimates. Ugh. So a Zestimate is what Zillow thinks your home is worth. Zillow doesn't know your micro market. So if you live in Carlisle, the southwest quadrant is worth completely different than the northeastern quadrant.
So, depending on where you live in the town, your property value is totally different.
Yeah, think about Columbia. There are streets in Columbia that probably have homes that are worth more than a couple streets over. And it's just because of the location. Mm-hmm. Zillow doesn't know that about your town.
Then what does Zillow take into account for your Zestimate?
They look at a national average. They're looking at the facts that they know about your home, and then they're looking at a national average. So I have so many people who are like, well, Zestimate said my home is worth $200,000. And I'm like, well, great, but the comps in your actual micro market for the last 700 days are saying that it's actually worth 180. And I can show you pictures, and I can show you why.
You should be like, well, that's incorrect.
Yeah, realtors who are truly in the business dislike Zillow. And a lot of realtors are moving away from advertising on Zillow because Zillow is trying to take our jobs.
Oh, they're trying to take your jobs.
Oh, yeah. So,
How?
we advertise on Zillow currently, and...
You, like the Dave Hook team does?
Yeah. And I got a call the other day. It used to be you would get a call, and they'd be like, here's this client. They're looking at this home. Like, can we connect you to chat? And then you could chat with this particular person about the home and maybe show them the home, try to convert them to be your client. But you would be able to have like a real life conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Well, now it's, hey, there's this person. They want to see 123 Main Street at 2:00. Can you take the appointment? Yes or no? And then they don't even connect you. And then you say yes or no. They say, great, we'll let them know that you're going to show them this house at 2:00. And we'll send you their contact information. Zillow keeps all the contact information, so I can't even like copy the phone number. I have to sit here and hand dial the phone number in, hope that this person answers the phone so I can actually chat with them. Because just because I say I'm available at 2:00 doesn't necessarily mean I want to take this person out. Like, I pre-qualify them. I go through all these questions to make sure that this is the right first step, because part of our job is to make sure that people, when they start looking at homes, are really ready to look at homes. And that's a whole nother podcast, but they're trying to take control over what the process is. And unfortunately, it's kind of, that would be like going to the doctor's office and skipping the nurse, like taking in all of your information and just going straight to the doctor, because
just going straight in for surgery, and he's like, what's wrong with you?
Right. Being like, well, I just need the first doctor that can take me tomorrow at 2:00. Would you want to just work with any doctor that could take you at 2:00 tomorrow?
No.
Why would you want to work with just any real estate agent that happens to be free?
I think because people think that being a real estate agent is easy. And it's just like, I need a human being, any human being.
Yeah, the problem...
It's not like that.
The problem is the world, a lot of people think that real estate agents are just here to help them find homes. That's not, honestly, that's like the littlest part of my job.
Yeah, you're you write the contract, you do the negotiations, you take all the stressful things that people have no idea exist in a real estate transaction and just remove that.
Let me just give you a quick glimpse of the last 60 days in my job. So, like, real estate transaction going well. Offer was accepted, pretty semi-easy negotiation there, not too hard. Then we get to home inspections, find out that there used to be a meth lab in the basement.
So it's an episode of Breaking Bad now.
Make this stuff up. And my client had some pretty major health concerns regarding their lungs. So then we had to get an air quality control testing done, and it was going to be another $3,000. So we had to negotiate, well, who's going to pay this $3,000, because buyer didn't know when he wrote the offer that there was a meth lab in the basement previously. And I don't know these things if they're not on the disclosure, because I'm not allowed to give out criminal reports of locations. Mm-hmm. So I don't do research on that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
But it's the seller's job to disclose that.
It's the seller's job to disclose if they know. They claim they didn't know, but the neighbor knew. It was a flip. So for people who are listening to this going, how did the seller not know that there was a meth lab in their basement? They bought it as a foreclosure, flipped it, put it back on the market.
Which is common.
And unfortunately, the increase in drug production in people's houses is also increasing. That's a real concern you need to be aware of. And some of those chemicals, when you touch them and it gets into your skin, it's actually very bad for you. So, totally another thing.
That's what drugs are.
That's not a realtor giving you that advice. That's just a human being saying that that's not good. Don't want to have my license at stake here. But so I had that happen. Then I've had septic failures. Where they're going to cost about $30,000 to put in
to fix your poop tank.
Put in a whole new system. And plenty of other things have I seen. Like, these are just the two that came up in the last couple weeks. And the thing of it is a lot of people think it's just as easy as writing an offer, getting it accepted, and then having some inspections and then getting to closing. You need to have somebody who knows your market, so that way you know you're writing a good offer that's going to appraise, so you're not wasting hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on inspections and appraisals to find out that it's not worth what you offered. And then also to negotiate through those inspections, because just because a home has a failed septic system doesn't mean you can't work through it. I have one of the lower rates of transaction failures because of that, because I know how to negotiate through bad inspections.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that on your own, it's going to be a lot harder, especially if you're a unrepresented buyer negotiating against a skilled listing agent.
Oh, you're going down.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
So-
I've heard Brittany be on the phone doing these negotiations with other listing agents, and both of these people, the listing agent and the buyer's agent, are professional contract writers and negotiators, and what they're doing is arguing the contract that was written by the both of them negotiating, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you slip up, like the listing agent who represents the seller is going to just do what's best for their seller, whether it's hurting you or not, in most scenarios.
Yeah, I
like,
think
there's a lot of
luckily-
people that have morals, but
Yeah,
you're going to lose. You're going to never get the better end of the bargain unless you yourself are a lawyer or a real estate agent. Like, don't you're going to need somebody that's going to go against the big guns.
And there's also just a lot of coordination in between, like the amount of stuff that you're going to have to turn in to the lender and the title company, and just all the communication that happens back and forth. Mm-hmm. If you're working a full-time job, which you probably are if you're buying a house, you're not going to have time. I mean, that's why I have, like, real estate is like 60 to 80 hours a week for me.
Yeah, it's a never-ending
There's
job.
a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people think it's just open the door for me so I can write this offer. And there's actually companies out there that are going to let people do that, write their own offers, pick a random agent to show them the house, and they'll take care of themselves throughout the real estate transaction.
I don't understand how they can write their own offer. Is there like a template?
There's like a template.
Oh.
But now you're talking about people who don't even know what this 14-page document says.
That, and like they're like, what are you gonna do when you have to negotiate? Like, there are so many strings that real estate agents know how to pull in order to make it work, and you, as an unrepresented person that has no idea how it works, or you might think you do, because there's a lot of people that think they know more than Brittany does until she has to prove it to them. I've seen that happen too.
I think at the
Don't let me toot your horn too much. I'm sorry.
I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to if you're a real estate agent in 2020, you're going to have to leverage technology, because that's what consumers do want. They do want to utilize technology and it has to be better than or equal to Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, those types of websites that consumers are used to using. And you just have to be able to provide an exceptional client experience, which is definitely something that Keller Williams and the Dave Hook team is promoting to our agents. And I think we're a step ahead because of that. And if you're looking to be a realtor, you're going to have to be accepting to work with technology and to constantly learn new technology, so that way you can stay on top of it and stay ahead of the game. You also are going to have to make sure that you work with a brokerage that offers really good training and really good technology, because if you're thinking that you can just do all of this in pen and paper like the old days, like, you're gonna fail.
Yeah, you're only gonna be able to have one client at a time.
But do I think the role of a real estate agent is going away? No, I don't. There's so many people who are not going to trust a computer with the biggest financial decision of their life. They're going to want that face-to-face interaction with people who are knowledgeable in the industry.
I kind of disagree with you on that. I think there's another step. I think a lot of the new generation that's coming up rely on computers so much. There's an expectation for technology to succeed and work well.
Oh, sure. And
so
it will.
I
think technology will work well.
Oh, I think it will too, but I think it's not ready to take over humans in the real estate market. It's not.
No.
It's not even close. And I think they're selling it as if it is. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, I think, that are coming up, especially young people, first-time home buyers in the next couple of years, are going to be bitten by the technology of buying and selling a home. Like, if they think they can do it all on the internet, I think they're going to get bit pretty hard, and then they're going to come to a person.
Right.
And you're going to start to see all these stories emerge about how the technology just didn't work well until they learned the hard way, and then they got with somebody like Brittany or any real estate agent that's local to you and figured out how much easier it was, because you don't have to do anything then.
Right.
Like, you have to do your own due diligence of, like, providing your information, but, like, you have another human being who is a professional take care of the contracts and the negotiating and getting everything to closing. If I couldn't imagine,
And then-
knowing what a real estate agent does, I couldn't imagine a computer doing all of that for two sides of a transaction. That is haggling.
Yeah.
It's haggling. How can a computer do that?
And
There's
then
no way.
all the aftermath after buying a home. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in touch with all of my clients after they buy homes multiple times a year, because there's always something that you might have a question on. Like, you might have a remodeling project coming up on your home that you want to tackle, and you need the number of a general contractor, but you want to make sure you're working with somebody that you trust. Call me. I can recommend someone to you. That this is the field that I'm in. It's kind of like when you go to a doctor and they can recommend you to, a good ortho specialist or, back specialist, whatever you need. That's kind of what a realtor is as well.
Yeah.
But you need to be working with professional agents in the industry, not just anybody. And unfortunately, with some of these technology and these apps, the apps that are acting like Uber, where it's just like the first agent that can show you the house at 2:00 because that works for you, you don't know who you're getting.
No.
It blows my mind, but very interesting
It is.
article that you read there, Benjamin.
Yeah. I like
Puts
it.
a little fire underneath me for sure.
You're getting replaced by computers, baby.
I am not. I am not.
All right. Well, cool. I think we kind of gave you guys our 2 cents on that side of the thing. Is there any last tidbits you want to leave our listeners with on being a real estate agent in 2020?
I think being a real estate agent is very rewarding. I absolutely love my career. I love helping all of my clients. And there is a way that you can feel like it doesn't 110% consume your life. And there is a way to make sure that you're working with the right technology to stay ahead of the game, of like Zillow, Trulia. And I think you're going to start seeing more agents doing other forms of business development, so that way they don't have to pay companies like Zillow and Realtor, and maybe that'll slow them down a little bit. So, and if
see
you're
what the
looking
future holds.
to buy or sell a home, I highly recommend that you interview several agents in your area to see what's going to be a good fit. It should not be a one and done, like the first person that you meet with.
Yeah.
You're making the biggest financial decision in your life for at least one of them. So why?
And you're going to be communicating with said person for possibly months.
Correct.
So you better like them.
You need to like them, and you just need to know that they're the right person working for you. You don't just choose any heart surgeon to operate on your heart.
No.
And although we're not delivering beating hearts,
You're
we
dealing
are-
with the price of it.
you're dealing with a pretty expensive transaction, so you need to make sure you're dealing with competent people. And if you're looking to be a real estate agent, make sure you interview multiple brokers. Make sure you have a good mentor, somebody who's going to train you, coach you, keep you accountable, because there are things that you need to be doing every day in order for you to succeed. It's not just as easy as showing a couple homes here and there. There's just a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we do that goes into it. So that would be my best advice.
Yeah, and there is a free service that we do offer, and that is if you are anywhere in the United States or even global, Brittany works for Keller Williams, and she knows a network of agents, and she's able to communicate with them all across the country. And if you are we're in central Pennsylvania, but if you're in Oregon and you want to get your feet wet, you want to meet with an agent, but you don't really feel like you have the time to vet a bunch of agents, if you just text Ben and Brittany to 717-422-8318, Brittany will call you or give you a text right back, and she will actually look in your area, find you the best agent for free, and set you up. That's just a Ben and Brittany thing that we offer because we just want to help people as much as we can.
Yep, we want to make sure you have a good experience when you buy or sell your home, because it's stressful, and a good agent is going to minimize that stress for you as much as possible.
Yes. So, like I said, text Ben and Brittany to 717-422-8318 and let us know what you need, and we'll do our best to help you out any way we can. Thank you guys for watching, listening to the podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those things that we have to ask you to do in 2020.
And go to benandbrittany.net.
Yeah, go to benandbrittany.net. That's, you can also, instead of texting us, you can just email us from there. There's a contact us on there for anything that you might need. And
on my realtor page, there's even a link for you to start searching for homes. If you want to search for homes in Central PA so you don't have to use Zillow, there's a link there. And then also ways that you can set up a consultation request with me, whether you want to buy, sell consult, or even a real estate consultation to be an agent.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're here to help in any way we can. Enjoy your day, guys. We will see you in the next episode of this podcast.